Hi, this is video 2. I'm Lynn Suszek, and this is the study on guarding your heart. You can find this to print out on hisability.com under the Bible studies, and mine is on there called Guarding Your Heart by Lynn Suszek. This is a study that I imparted to my children, explaining how guarding your heart is going to protect your life and what happens when you don't, and how we can be not guarding our heart without even knowing it. So passing this on. The last video we talked about why we should guard our heart, how being sober-minded is a way of being alert and guarding your heart, and all the scriptures that are connected with that. That's on the paper that you can print out. And the next section that I'm covering right now is how being passive to an ungodly atmosphere, things that are of the world, can cause damage in your life. And that's page 2 on my study. It says passivity to anything potentially ungodly, anywhere that you're not, directly connected to the Holy Spirit. You're going to be on guard, and that's where you don't want to be passive. I have here an explanation of hypnosis, and I want to explain why that is. Hypnosis is a means to influence the mind by the gateway of the unconscious or subconscious through the ears or the eyes, to brainwash, to cause one to believe through passivity, be it through drugs or alcohol, medicine, sleep deprivation, even during sleep, worry, anxiety, or extreme fear, and through music and media. That's a lot. You want to look that over and really take that in, what I'm saying. These are the means that, what I want to explain about this is, hypnosis is something that is used to get to our subconscious to cause us to manifest sometimes even good behaviors. People have used hypnosis over time to actually change their actions when they couldn't control themselves, like smoking, trying to change that habit. Instead of getting to the root of the problem and uprooting it from the inside, this is actually an ungodly method to try to change that, and it's messing with your belief system, and it's allowing something, trying to get yourself to change not in God's way. So it's something that people do. And how hypnosis works, which we want to avoid that, because that's not the way to handle our changing our behavior. But what you do is typically get somebody to become passive. Even they're submitting to your hypnosis. They know what they're doing. They choose to let their guard down so that they can change their behavior. People have actually done it as a show. Here's how you access the subconscious and cause people to behave whatever I'm telling them to do. So typically you see somebody telling someone to become passive by, you're getting sleepy, focus on this clock and things like that, and in a few minutes the person is totally submitted in their subconscious to whatever you have to say, which is letting your guard down totally. I'm letting you have control over my mind, basically, and my beliefs, my heart. So I definitely don't believe in doing that at all. That's not God's way to do things. So what that does is, you actually can cause somebody, through their own choice of submitting to you, to even cause them to act funny, or possibly believe that their arm is paralyzed or something like that, so that when they wake back up, you've hit their subconscious and they're actually paralyzed, or they can no longer move something because that's what happens. So I'm trying to explain that this is how it works, and that without even knowing it, God tells us to guard our heart. And this is why, because if you get to your beliefs, if you get to your heart and cause yourself to believe something, it can manifest in your life. And we want to guard our hearts against evil things. So we want to first understand that that's how it works. And in my opinion, we can be hypnotized or subconsciously influenced during sleepy states of mind, exhaustion, sleep depravity, through trauma and accidents, even though it's not something that you do on purpose. A trauma can cause you to be influenced, and something can stay with you for the rest of your life unless you undo it. You know how. Unconscious states, either by trauma or drug induced. You can become drug induced for surgery, and things that are being spoken while you're sleeping can affect you. Anesthesia during surgery, like I said. Painful moments, physical or emotional pain, can cause you to have a point where something affects you and in your subconscious. And another thing that you can do that would affect you is fantasizing or meditating on sinful or even fearful activities. When we dwell in our imagination on wrongful thinking, it conceives sin and gets in there, and you can actually believe. And for instance, I believe that through lies that we can actually confess out of our mouth, through many different ways, we can, for instance, become something that we weren't before and have the desire to be that. At some point, you can go from being straight to gay through this very activity. And I don't want to get into specifics right now, but people do go from being, I was straight before, and now I have a strong desire as a homosexual. And there was a point where I lied and said that I was, and now I have it, and it's really, really there, and I don't know how to get rid of it. And so I guess I am. And this is an example of how we can change the flow of our life. Comes right out of our hearts, and we can affect ourselves without understanding what we did. So we can also undo that as well. But I'm going to continue with TV and books and movies. And fear and anxiety and worry are dangerous. God warns us 365 times in the Bible to fear not. Fear is a major source of open door for the enemy. We want to avoid being afraid, and that would take a lot of practice, but just understanding that you want to not be in a state of fear, that you want to fear not, is a first step. So these are all different things I want to show you that will help you guard your heart, and perhaps begin to focus on and remember when you may have done these things and how something happened in your life and it needs to be undone. The references I have for that are Job 4:12. Now a thing was secretly brought to me, and mine ear received a little thereof. In thoughts and visions of the night, when deep sleep falleth on men. Fear came upon me, and trembling, which made all my bones shake. These are things that happened in the night for Job, and something was secretly brought to him. I believe this reminds me of like a hypnotic state that he was in, and this is a biblical description of what I'm talking about, how we can have things conceived in our hearts and manifest in our lives through hypnotic states of mind, whether they be drug-induced or just something whispering to you in the night. You have choices. You can have bad dreams, you can have evil dreams or good dreams, and you have to accept or reject them. And for the thing I greatly feared came upon me. Job 3:25. That is it shows that something that you're afraid of can happen because you're afraid of it, and you need to get that out of your thought patterns and your speaking about it. I constantly saying, I'm afraid of this, this is my biggest fear, and you're just opening the door to that actually happening in your life. So there's more, and I'm going to end this part, and there's the next video would be about passive states that are godly, that we want to allow God to flow through us. So we have the shutting the door and resisting things that can affect our hearts and guarding it, and then we want to learn how to affect our lives positively through godly things and allowing God and the Holy Spirit to flow through us. That'll be on the next video. Thanks.